KILR Killer Game.
Hello gamers, simmers, and pilots, I am the Killer Gamer, and welcome to the World Tour featuring Terminal Reality's Fly 2. Not Fly 2K, but actually Fly 2. So, it's this one here. It's not the movie by with Jeff Goldblum. Was he in the second one? I can't remember. And it's not this, okay? It's got two, but this is the first Fly 2K. It's basically a collector's, like I don't know, like a Game of the Year edition, which has got a package of good stuff in it. So yeah, no, it's the sequel, Fly 2. There's like reflections and stuff coming off here. But so this is the thrilling sequel to 1999's Flight Sim of the Year. So let's go ahead and jump into this and see just how thrilling it is. Okay, so here we are. I've having to do something with the edit because the recording has got this strobe flashing effect with the control panel and the menu bar. It's because I can't put this simulator in window mode. No matter what, I can't force it. I can't do an Alt or a Control Enter. I can't do Alt Enter. Yeah, none of that works. Going to the there's not an INI file to edit. You can't go into the shortcut and put -W or -window. Just none of it works. So I'm having to record this as a full screen game on one monitor, and what it's doing is it's causing this flashing on the screen. So in this flickering. So you might see a little bit. And that's not the simulator, that's the actual recording thing. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So what we're looking at here is the Cessna, and I have it paused, so I'll go ahead and unpause it. Now you may be wondering where exactly are we. This doesn't look anything familiar. I'm going to go to spot plane mode here for a moment. Okay, so where are we? This is Chicago. That's downtown Chicago. We are on Merrill C. Meigs. You may be thinking, huh? Yeah, Fly 2 is not a complete game. There is just a lot of scenery, basically almost all the scenery, with the exception of, I was going to say with the exception of 3 areas, but you have to actually download a couple of those areas, and I don't think they're available anymore to download. So yeah, it was released as an unfinished product. Oh yeah, do you see the flashing on the plane there? That's what I mean. It's trying to. I'm going to do a freeze frame there and get that to look a little better. Yeah, but anyway, they didn't even have a manual when they released the box game. Like, all you had was a cardboard box. You had this, and then like a little sheet or something as far as like how to install and how to get up in the air or something like that. It was this thing was like rushed out, incomplete, and the company kind of reminds me of No Man's Sky, except No Man's Sky really redeemed themselves. Terminal Reality, I guess they kind of redeemed themselves. I don't know. That's hard to debate. I don't know if has anyone actually did they buy this or did you play it back in the day? The first Fly is great. This one, though, this is a disappointment. It's only 1 CD-ROM, whereas the special edition I have on the Fly it's got 4 CDs. I mean, there's one just for scenery. There's another one just for charts and maps. This one doesn't have very many charts and maps. Although I have gone to avsim.com, avsim.com, there is some stuff on there for Fly and Fly 2, where some people have converted some maps over. There is also a scenery designer where you can go in and add your own scenery. And I did that at first. I added a few buildings over there in Chicago. They were just regular basic buildings. I was detailed at first. And then I got an error message saying there was too many vertices. So I tried to simple it down some. I had like a control tower here at the airport, and a couple of hangars and a couple of terminals. And then I decided, why not show you the game as it is out of the box for this particular episode, for the very first one. And then for the following ones, I can add a little bit more. I can add a building, here and there, and I can't really spruce it up too much because this thing is very temperamental as it is. It does not work in VMware at all. If I try it in... No, I'm sorry. It doesn't work in PC Emulator at all. And the reason for that is, in order to play this, you need to have the minimum system requirements is a Pentium 2, 333 megahertz, 500 megahertz recommended. As of this time, the highest you can go on the PC EM is a Pentium 1 at 233 megahertz. And you've got to have a really beefy system in order to get that to run at 100%. And even then, I think it's a little tricky. So this does not work on it. It just fails. I mean, I get it to start, but then when I go to select graphics, it just doesn't like it. Now, VMware, I tried it on Windows 98. I tried it on Windows XP because the Windows XP has got the 3D acceleration on it, which doesn't seem to do anything anyway. Windows 98, now forget it. I just threw an error. But Windows XP, it did actually work. Well, it started, and you could see the control panel, but then out the window, it was a spaz fest. Don't know what in the world was going on outside the window. It was just freaky. I mean, you think the flashing that was going on earlier with the with the dash and the plane. I mean, my goodness, the thing on VMware was really bad. So this is actually running on Windows 7, and it has some problems a little bit. You have to be very careful on what items you select, otherwise it throws an error. In order to get this to work, I have to set my monitor to really low. It's the one that's over past 800 by 600. It's like 728 by 1080 or something like that. You have to set it. Hold on, I think I've got it here. Is it scenery? No, that may not be it. I'm trying to remember which one it was, but you have to set your desktop for that mode. Otherwise, it because that's the highest that the program can go. Otherwise, it'll quit on you and throw a nasty error. It'll yell at you and stuff. So yeah, this has been a challenge to get working, but here it is. I have done some test flights with it just to get kind of a feel on what it is that I'm dealing with, and now we're going to go ahead and do a flight together. So that's Chicago out there with just sticks and blinking lights. It kind of reminds me of the first Mass Effect, where they had all, towards the beginning, all those big pointy sticks, and they had dead human bodies on it. That's kind of like what that reminds me of. And maybe this is in the future when everything's been wiped out. Anything's possible, I guess. What we're going to go ahead and do is create our flight plan, and it's just like, well, I mean, it's similar. It's similar to the first fly. So you go in here and you select your departure. Now this is a fail. This is an epic fail here. Before, you could select from drop downs for state and country. Not on this one. You need to know where it is you want to go. So we'll type in KCGX, Meigs. There's a teleport function here that takes you to the airport. We're already there, so we're going to select that. Boom. And arrival is going to be ORD for Chicago O'Hare. Select that. We're going to generate our route. I don't even know if generating a route is even necessary. All of this stuff here, I have no idea what it is. I know some of this stuff adds a whole bunch of clouds everywhere. Maybe they just kind of show you stuff. I don't know. I mean, there's no manual. Their website had a partial manual that you could download, except it don't work no more. Even if, going through the Wayback Machine, no, I could not get the manual to download. Maybe it's on avsim.com. Maybe some wonderful person uploaded it there. That would be nice. Other than that, we're going to have to figure this stuff out as we go. So I guess we'll learn about this simulator together. All right, well, we're all set. Now we'll just go ahead and start flight plan. Okay, and you can see where it put us, just in case you were not believing me that we were at Meigs. Well, here we are. Okay, and I've got the overlay here. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we'll go in here and select our time. We're going to make that 11 in the morning. Now, let's go ahead and go to weather, and we'll add clouds. There's 3 layers of clouds here. So we can go in here and say, all right, we'll do broken there, scattered there, and few there. Did that on, and we got some, well, you know, decent looking clouds. It's okay. It looks dark out here. I'm not quite sure why that is. It should be daytime. Let me go back to this. Let me change the month here. Maybe that'll do it. Set it in June. That's a little better. Yeah, how about July? That's about the same. Okay. Yeah, that's better. That looks more like daytime. As far as moving around the cockpit, you hit the control key and move over. Now keep in mind on these, I am using an overlay so that way you're not seeing all the crazy flashing and stuff. Or basically freeze frames. Yeah, so this is going to be a challenging video to edit. So we got that in there. Some other things that are in here. Let's go to select aircraft. Okay, so for aircraft, how many do we have here? So we got a Bell. We have a Tri-Flyhawk. Okay, so this is not a Cessna. We're on a Flyhawk, apparently. A Sierra single engine, a Kodiak twin engine, a Pilatus PC-12, Peregrine 800TR, Barracuda B200, and Aurora B200. So I'm guessing this is supposed to be like the Skyhawk. I guess maybe they didn't get permission, so they call it a Tri-Flyhawk. Is it a real airplane? I don't know. Now, another interesting thing is damage report. And this will tell you, these sliders show you how much damage is on each thing. So this is kind of a neat feature. You've got your weight and balance, so you can put in the weight of your pilot, co-pilot, passengers, baggage. Show CG. I'm not sure what that is. Got your fuel, so you can load up your fuel. Tune radios. You can tune them all here if you want, or you can do it here. In some cases, it might be better just to do it here because you have to like click, 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 and it only goes down. You can't get it to go up. So, and same with your transponder. So it might just be preferable to do it that way. To do it, you know, on here. CG indicator. You got options for aircraft, teleport, slew. Looks like it's CG indicator. Center of gravity. Okay. Not going to worry about that too much. Options. These options are specific to the current vehicle. If you change vehicles, these settings may need to be reset. So we're on the Tri-Flyhawk. These settings affect keyboard input only. So this is joystick control. So it gives you kind of an idea of what these are for. So let's see. How about winds? What are we looking at winds? Let's take the speed down. And we can take gusts down too. I'm not interested in doing that right now. Other. For other, you can do precipitation. Rain. It looks like there is no snow. I think there was snow on the first one. You got the altimeter. So I guess you're going to have to manually set this at each airport. I don't know. There's lightning. Okay, so here's rain. You got vicinity, light, moderate, heavy. You can include lightning if you want to. That's kind of cool. Then you got your visibility, dew point, temperature. You can load meter files. Most of that doesn't work anymore. If you can find yourself a meter file that's already been printed out, you could go in there and go to the airports that you're flying to and change the figures on that and then load it here. I've done that on Flight Simulator 98. You got multiplayer, probably, I'm not sure if that works anymore. Then you've got your windows. You got a GPS window right here. You also got the map. Remember when I told you about the charts where they were on a separate disk for the first fly? Yeah, on this one, there's no charts for the Chicago area. And then you've got the vector window, which, this is something that you can use here. You can zoom out. So we can highlight O'Hare. So this is at least something that we've got. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get everything set up here. We're going to be flying out to Chicago O'Hare. That's the first location that we've always done. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up. Right now. So what we need to do is kind of scroll down here. And we'll turn on the power, the avionics, and we'll turn on the fuel pump. I don't think we really need it, but right click on the magneto, just click and hold. That'll get it going. Turn off the fuel pump, we can turn on our lights. And then we'll scroll back up. And now we can go ahead and utilize our air traffic control. So control, this is just like the first fly, so control and the tilde will bring up the AT services. And the message said that we need to contact the flight service station, so we'll do that. That's number 5. And then KCGX. Yeah, we can't click on it, you got to actually hit the number. Now that tunes it in. That doesn't actually doesn't all of a sudden talk. So you have to hit the tilde again and then select the option.
KCGX radio 5050 Papa. Would you open my IFR flight plan at this time? 5050 Papa. KCGX radio. We have you off at 0300 and we'll open your flight plan at this time.
This reminds me a lot of ProFlight. ProFlight 98, ProFlight 2000. I think they were looking at those and for ideas, because this is pretty Pretty similar, although the voices are not as good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and listen to ATIS.
KCGX, arrival information, Quebec 1630, Zulu, automated weather observation, wind calm, visibility 49 miles, few clouds at 14,000 feet, scattered clouds at 29,000 feet, broken clouds at 4,000 feet, temperature is 19 degrees, dew point is 14 degrees, altimeter is 29.92, notice to airmen. Departures, contact clearance, delivery 121.30. Prior to taxi. Advise on initial contact you have information. Quebec. CGX, arrival information. Quebec 1630. Zulu.
Okay. So now I select the ground control, and again we hit that tilde, and we can do a radio check here. That's 3.
CGX ground 50550 Sierra Papa CGX ground loud and clear.
So you kind of cut him off. You didn't hear him say radio check, which is kind of annoying, but go ahead and go with the tilde again and request taxi to runway.
5 Sierra Papa ready to taxi. 5 Sierra Papa CGX ground taxi to runway 36 and hold short.
Then you have to do the tilde again to bring that up, and you hit 2 for readback.
5 Sierra Papa, roger, taxi to runway 36 and hold short.
One nice thing about this, running in Windows 7, I can use my controller because I haven't been able to get that to work in VMware. I don't know if I don't know if I tried it in PC Emulator or not. That's a floating arrow there. Now check this out. Over here, there's like water. there's water in between the runway and I mean, it's not grass. I mean, I guess, you know, it's a lake within a Great Lake or something. Oh, you know, you can land on the runway and take a swim, or you know, sit out on a little canoe right there and do some plane spotting. I'll say that Simulator does have promise, or I should say it did have promise. The community had to do a little bit of work with it, but you know, it's abandoned now. I don't think anyone's really messing with this anymore. Except for us. Yeah, so all that stuff that you see back there, those are all like those beacons. I mean, that's not buildings. I suppose you could pretend they are. guess you got to use your imagination on this, like the like the ancient simulators. And we're not on an island. The runway is floating on the water, as is the taxiway. This reminds me of X-Plane, because if you go way up north...
KCGX ground. Contact tower at 121.30.
Like far north where alert is at, it's just a runway floating out in the water.
50 Papa KCGX ground. Did you copy?
Well, yeah, if it would give me a chance.
50 Papa, Roger. Contact tower at 1250 Papa KCGX ground. Good day. CGX tower 5050 Papa. Request take 5050 Papa. CGX tower cleared for takeoff. 50 Papa. Roger. Cleared for takeoff.
Man, there's a bug on my windscreen. For real. That would be my monitor. Come on, you bug. Get off of there. I don't have the throttle set up on my controller. One thing it likes to do by default is put it on the axis, but when you're trying to turn with the rudder and it's all, you know, and the throttle's on the same one, yeah, no, that don't work. That don't work. Okay, I think we are all set. So interesting enough, this pulls to the right, just like an actual plane does. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, there you go. You can see the water. So yeah, this area wasn't done too well. It's almost as if all this stuff is like place markers. Like, yeah, there should be a building here and a building here and a building here. But we can't put them here right now, so these are place markers. That's what it seems like these are. I think good day is supposed to be one word.
50 Papa KCGX tower. Did you copy?
Yes, I did.
50 Papa, Roger. Contact departure at 118.40.
I think it was 113.9 for Now if you left click, that turns it clockwise, and if you right click, it turns it the other way. So I have found some scenery for O'Hare, which would have put some buildings down, but I was getting an error that something was missing. So there may be some stuff I need to download in order to get that to work. Chicago O'Hare is right up here. If you look, you can see some gray. Those are the actual runways. So we'll go ahead and do our approach control. Where we can open up that nav thing. Let's see. Tune radios. 5235 35
5 Sierra Papa ORD approach. Squawk 5235.
Okay, so it should be tuned in.
5 Sierra Papa ORD approach. Did you copy? 5 Sierra Papa Roger. Squawk 5235.
I guess it didn't work. Yes, I copied.
5 Sierra Papa Roger. Squawk 5 Sierra Papa ORD approach. Radar contact 5 Sierra Papa ORD approach. Turn right heading 272. 5 Sierra Papa Roger. Turn right heading 272.
There was a plane. That was a bug. Okay, now the airport. Let's take a look here. So runway 36 is over here.
Sierra Papa ORD approach. Turn left heading 227. 5 Sierra Papa Roger. Turn left heading 227.
I'm not going to get too crazy because during my practice runs, they were routing me all over the place. They were actually routing me back and forth between two vectors away from the airport.
Sierra Papa ORD approach. Turn left heading 182. 5 Sierra Papa Roger. Turn left heading 182. 5 Sierra Papa ORD approach. Turn left heading 137.
So you can see how it's like having me turn right and left and
5
all this
Sierra
stuff.
Papa ORD approach. Did you copy? 5 Sierra Papa Roger. Turn left heading 137.
Now we're like 5,000 feet up. I didn't want to be that high. Okay, I'm going to lower the flaps.
Sierra Papa ORD approach. Turn right heading 092. 5 Sierra Papa Roger. Turn right heading 092.
See, the texture on the ground looks pretty decent. There's just, you know, no buildings or anything. Okay, which direction is it taking us here?
5 Sierra Papa ORD approach. Turn right heading 137. 5 Sierra Papa ORD approach. Did you copy?
Yep, I sure did. How do I
5
untune
Sierra
that?
Papa ORD approach. Did you copy?
I don't know how to turn this thing off. We're going to turn that off. I don't know how to turn this off. Well, I can drag it. Here, we'll drag it off to the side. But yeah, let's drag it over here. So yeah, the ATC is kind of routing us all over the place, so let's just go ahead and land at this point. Assuming I can find the airport again. Finally got the Julia thing to turn off. Okay, I think I see the airport. It's off to the right. Check out the sky. Look how it gets blue up there. It's kind of cool. Oh, we're stalling. Runway there we can land on. There's another one over here. I'm going to go for this one. I don't know if it's runway 36, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. Is calling me on my phone. Oh no. I'm not answering it. Like I'm recording a video. How rude. Okay, this will not be runway 36, but that's okay. I think we'll survive. So the ATC may work better on longer flights rather than short flights. So on short flights, we may just have to kind of do what we did on this one for ATC. So you can see here is Chicago O'Hare. There's no buildings. There are taxiways though. I think the runway we're about ready to fly over is 36. Runway 32, that's close. It's close to 36. switch our radio back now. Man, where are these bugs coming from? Get off my monitor. Anyone see a taxi? Way? Not a taxi, but a taxi way. Taxi way. Well, actually, you know what? We can just contact ground.
ORD ground 505 Sierra Papa is clear of the runway. Request taxi to parking.
Oh, here we go.
505 Sierra Papa ORD ground. Taxi to parking. Sierra Papa Roger. Taxi to parking.
There we go. Okay. Guess we could say this is Chicago O'Hare under construction. Just weird not seeing any buildings. It's like flying in an area and not having the scenery at the right priority level, so it just winds up all flat.
Papa ORD ground. Contact clearance delivery at 121.60. 5 Sierra Papa Roger. Contact clearance delivery at 121.5 Sierra Papa ORD ground. Good day.
Which, that makes no sense. I'm not going anywhere, so... So we'll go ahead and do flight service station. Oh, look at this. There's nothing here for O'Hare. Okay, well, I guess we're not doing that then. Because see, clearance delivery... Yeah, see, it wants us to contact ADA, so yeah, that's not going to really work out. But, we're here at the airport, so let's go ahead and shut down. Turn off the radios. I'm just going to leave the lights on. And that's that. So, welcome to Chicago O'Hare, or what's left of it. Yeah, so this simulator is going to need a bit of work, a bit of love. but I have tested it out with the scenery editor, so we'll be able to add, a few buildings here and there. Kind of reminds me of like Flight Simulator 4, like what I'm doing with the Adventure series on that one, where I'll put a few buildings at the airport that we're taking off from and a few buildings at the one that we're landing at, just to give it a little bit of life. As far as air traffic, I don't know. We're going to have to figure that one out. If there is a way to figure out. I think there is, based on some of the stuff I read, but yeah, it's going to take some time, I think. But anyway, what did you think of this? Do you like what you see? Is it kind of meh? Is it very disappointing compared to the first release of Fly? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. That'll help me out in the channel, and it'll help out your fellow viewers and simmers that may be looking for a video on Fly 2. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do so. I would appreciate it, and that'll help build up our community, which is a good thing. And then that notification bell, if you ring that bell, well, in this case, click it, you'll get notified about new videos that are being uploaded on the channel, including the next segment of this. So I appreciate you watching, and I will see you on the next leg of our journey.